Before this video starts, there's about a 50% chance that if you are watching this video, you are not subscribed, and if you are watching content on this channel consistently, then hey, maybe subscribe. It's free and it makes me feel better. Also, drop a like on this video, only takes 1 second and it really helps the video perform better. Real quick, as you can probably tell, the lighting situation for this video is drastically different from what it normally is. Maybe the footage looks better than I'm thinking it will in my head, but my second box light basically blew up. So I need to get a replacement one. It'll be here by the time I do face cam again, but it's not here for this video, so it's gonna look a little bit weird. Is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. So if the footage looks weird in this, that is why. But with that out of the way, today I want to talk about the most improved player race and who should be winning it. I did this for the MVP award a couple of days ago, and I really started off wanting to do this for most improved player, mostly because, you know me, I wanted to talk about Christian Wood and Jeremy Grant. So let's go down into this topic, and really, I do want to clarify right out of the gate, there are a lot of candidates for most improved player. There are the clear-cut top guys, but there are also fucking Face ID. There are some players that are not as clear-cut, and I picked out 11 potential candidates, so if your guy's name isn't here and you think he deserves consideration, then I have 11 names, so if I forgot one, it's really not my fault. So just going over the names, first of all, I have Mikael Bridges. He has got up to 15 points per game, 6 rebounds. His three-point shooting has been amazing. He's been probably, debatably, the Suns' third best player because DeAndre Ayton has had some struggles. At the very worst, the fourth best player on this team, and there's a big gap between him and 5. Mikael has just been great. He has always been touted as this 3-and-D prospect, and really, to start his career, it's been more D than it has been 3. Should I say pause to that? I have no fucking idea. He has not really been hitting the threes thus far, but this year, about 6 attempts per game and shooting 46%. That's very good. I don't think that percentage is going to maintain itself, but he's definitely a legit candidate. The only issue that is going to exist with a lot of these guys that I'm mentioning here is that his stats are not as impressive as some other players here. And really, this race right now, early on at least, is very tight between really 4 big names. I'm kind of just waiting for those guys for last. Michael Porter Jr., his scoring average has gone up. Unfortunately, it's only been 6 games. And also, the thing with him is he was getting a lot of opportunity in the bubble in Orlando and in the playoffs, and it was pretty damn clear that he was going to be like who he was once he got those actual minutes. And I think the argument would be, and I think this is a fair argument, on top of the fact that I don't like giving second-year players this award, it was just a situation of more opportunity, because when he had that opportunity last year, he was putting up numbers just like he is right now. So not really improvement, just that opportunity over a long period of time rather than just a dozen or so games. Shakeologist Alexander actually hasn't taken as big of a leap as I was expecting, at least not in the way that I thought he would. I predicted he would average about 25 and 10 on poor efficiency, maybe even up to like 27. He is averaging 21.7 right now and 6 assists per game. His turnovers have gone up a little bit, but in general, his playmaking has improved, and his three-point shooting has improved a good bit as well. Not by a large margin, but definitely a noticeable one. He just seems like he's too passive in order to be a guy who averages like 25 plus. I thought just because there's literally no other shot creating option on the OKC Thunder, he would be being more aggressive than he is in the scoring department. He's still very good, but he's not had the leap in terms of points per game that I was expecting. I was not saying that he's a worse player than I expected. Really, I just expected the numbers to look different. And unfortunately, in the case of most improved player, you need your numbers to go up pretty drastically, and I don't think they have in the case of Shakeologist Alexander. Also, what's his name? Domantas Sabonis. He had a really good start to the season, and then his numbers have kind of fallen back down to earth. He's not really a candidate now either. His stats are pretty similar to what they were last year, despite outside of him shooting like 1 more three-pointer per game on a little bit better efficiency. I don't think he's a real candidate anymore, unless those numbers come back up. But as of right now, it's not looking like that. Julius Randle, a semi-similar situation. His scoring numbers, he's still up by 3 points per game. His rebounds are still up by about 1.5 per game, but on the plus side, he is averaging double his assists. Playmaking thing has kind of come out of nowhere. Also, his three-point percentage has gone up by 7% on a little bit more attempts per game. Julius Randle has been awesome for the Knicks, and what is working in his favor is that the Knicks are playing respectable basketball right now. They're actually in the playoff seeding right now at the moment. So Julius Randle is definitely in this conversation, and I just realized there is another player that I is in a similar situation that I did not put in this, and he's my favorite player in the league, so something is wrong with me. Zach LaVine is currently averaging 27, 5, and 5, playing much better defense than he did last year. 64% true shooting. And just like the New York Knicks, in comparison to the last couple of years, the Chicago Bulls are a respectable team. They are the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference with a 7-9 record. So Zach LaVine is also in this conversation. So there, I have 12 names. Another person that on the Bulls that I wanted to point out that I don't think is a legit candidate, but I've seen some people making the case, especially Bulls fans, obviously. Lauri Markkanen, his numbers are better than they were last year, but if you look at them, they are nearly identical to his numbers in year 2. So really, other than increased efficiency from the field, from 2-point range specifically, he is shooting 12% better from 2 than he did in his second year in the league. But really, this season has just been a recovery to be closer to what he was in his second year than his third year, because it was pretty clear that his third year was a down season. So I don't think Markkanen is really a candidate for this award at all. I should have just had Zach LaVine in there in the first place, but I wanted to point that out for a couple of Bulls fans who I've seen saying that. No, I don't think he is a most improved player candidate. Chris Boucher has been great for the Raptors. One of the few bright spots in Toronto's hellish situation right now. He's been playing center for them, and he has been awesome on both ends of the court. He is shooting lights out from 3, lights out from the field. He is blocking shots like crazy. The one issue with him is he is pretty damn small for a center. I'm pretty sure he's tall enough and he has the length to play the position, but he's really skinny and he's not a very good rebounder, so that's kind of the negative that comes with him. But he has been a good rim protector, and because of that skinniness, he's pretty fast on his feet, so he is able to defend outside of the paint. Issue is he's really more of a 4, and he's being forced to play 5 on this team because Aaron Baines has sucked this year. The Raptors' backup center was Alex Len until they released him. So yeah, Chris is good for the Raptors. His numbers have drastically improved. I don't think he should be playing center, but he has been. But he's definitely probably the 5th guy in terms of candidates here for me. And then finally, before we get into that top 4, we have Kelden Johnson. I take issue for the most part with second-year players winning this award, and really the biggest issue with Kelden Johnson winning this award is that he played 17 games last year, and I don't know if there's a specific requirement for how many games you have to play in order to be a candidate for that award, but if literally your second year you're playing the 18th NBA game of your career, I don't know that you can really be called a most improved player from what you were last year. Like, you didn't even play 20 games last year. How are you more improved? I mean, you are more improved than what you were in those 20 games, but even then, the minutes have doubled, almost doubled. It really just seems to be more opportunity for him, and more power to him. He has been great. I've only watched 2 Spurs this game. I've only watched 2 Spurs games this year, but he stood out in both of them. Not even because he's gone up in the scoring department and the rebounding department. He's averaging about 14 and 7, 46% from the field, 35% from 3, and about 3 attempts per game. Being able to take shots off of the dribble, play within a system as well. Very aggressive. What stood out the most to me from Kelden is his intensity and his energy. Like, it's not common you see small forwards be the hustle players. I don't know what it is, but it always seems to be guards and centers. But Kelden is the forward, and he is just one of the craziest hustle players that I have seen, and craziest energy guys that I've seen. This guy just, there's so much energy with him, and he's a very intriguing young player for the Spurs, because he's only 21 years old. And with him showing his scoring ability at this age, and him having that kind of energy that I think is going to translate to winning, he's a player Spurs fans should be surprised about. But if you played 17 games last year, I'm sorry, you're not winning most improved player. And then finally, we can get into the big 4 here. Now, first of all, I have to talk about Colin Sexton, because a lot of people have been giving me shit about Colin Sexton, and I will say, to an extent, rightfully so. My phrasing for what I thought of Sexton in my video on the Cavs was not done particularly well. I said I thought he could be just a better non-empty stats version of, what's his fucking name? Jesus Christ, Reggie Jackson. And yeah, that was probably not... the issue is Reggie Jackson is not good. My basic argument was that Reggie has the same strengths and weaknesses as Sexton. Sexton's strengths are just stronger than his strengths, and his weaknesses are less weak than his weaknesses. I was trying to find a point guard that could highlight the fact that he has the weaknesses that he does, but probably not the best comparison. Basically, my point was a lot of Cavs fans think he's going to be a perennial all-star, and I do not believe that. But if he does play like he has been playing this year in the long term, then yes, he will be a perennial all-star. So far this year, 25 points, 4 assists, and he's shooting 52% from the field and 46% from 3 on 4.4 attempts per game. That 3-point percentage is going to come back down to earth. My biggest argument against Sexton in the long term was that he is a scoring guard who is only 6 feet tall, who is not a good playmaker, and is not a very good 3-point shooter. He has been a very good 3-point shooter this year, but I don't expect that to hold up. I expect it to come back down to the good percentage but low volume that it was the past 2 years in his career. The one thing that is definitely nice is that his free throw attempts have gone up. I think that's something he should probably be better at, is drawing contact, and he has been better at that this year. And also the Cavs, another case where the Cavs have been pretty good. They are currently 500, 8-8, and 6 in the Eastern Conference. The issue with Colin Sexton is just I don't think a lot of these numbers are going to hold up. I think he can be a 22 point per game guy over an entire season, really, because that's not far from what he was last year. I wouldn't even be surprised if he averaged 25 over a full season. But I do not believe that he is going to do that on 60+% true shooting for an entire year. Call me a hater all you want. I just don't think Colin Sexton is as amazing as he has been this year. It's only been 11 games. So I do think he's a very strong candidate for the award. And I do think he's going to probably be an all-star a couple times in his career, but the way that some Cavs fans have hyped him up, not quite there for me. Then our other big three, and these guys, if I was ranking most improved player, if I'm going to pick, I would probably put Colin Sexton at 4, and then getting into our top 3 here, we of course have Jeremy Grant, doubled his scoring average, nearly doubled his rebounding average, doubled his assist average, doubled his field goal attempts, doubled his 3-point attempts. His field goal percentage has gone down a little bit, but his 3-point percentage has stayed the same, taking 7 a game. Jeremy Grant has just been awesome. The thing that is going to hold back Jeremy in this conversation is the fact that the Detroit Pistons are one of the worst teams in basketball. So it's going to be the empty stats argument. For the most part, in the most improved player award, it doesn't seem like winning is that big of a factor unless you're like a guy just making your team so much better out of the blue. Jeremy Grant, with a winning thing, could hold him back, but his numbers have gotten so much better that it's kind of hard to just like not give him credit for that. He has a 57% true shooting percentage, which is a little bit better than league average, and he's doing that averaging 24 points per game and being one of the better defensive players in the league. So Grant has been awesome this year. This video is going to be way too long, just like the last one. I am sorry, Rudy. Christian Wood. I literally just bought a jersey of his a couple of days ago. It's going to be here in like a month because NBA.com sucks, but 23 points per game, 11 rebounds, and he is shooting good from the field and from 3 after a rough start from 3 to open the year. And the Rockets have been good with him, even without James Harden. Good is a strong word. They've been better than expected. The thing that could hold back Christian Wood is pretty much a similar case to Michael Porter Jr. Last year, when he was finally given opportunity in Detroit, he was a 20-10 big man on a good efficiency, and in Houston, he has been a 20-10 big man on good efficiency. I don't think as many people are aware of how good Christian Wood was on the Pistons last year when given full opportunity, but for those that are, that might be a reason to hold him back in this conversation, and he would be the clear-cut most improved player, even probably last year. I'm trying to remember who the fuck won that award. Oh yeah, Brandon Ingram. Yeah, I would say that Christian Wood has had a similar improvement to Brandon Ingram, but yeah, I definitely think that that's something that some people could hold against him, but I think the general population probably would not. And then finally, Jaylen Brown. I keep waiting for Jaylen Brown to come back down to earth. Like, I keep thinking, okay, this is a really like prolonged hot streak, but like after like 15 games, it's really not a hot streak anymore. 27 points per game, 3.5 assists, which is nearly double what he averaged last year, 53, 43, 78 splits. His percentages have improved across the board. And really the most insane thing about Jaylen Brown has been the shooting. So from 10 to 16 feet, 51%. From 16 feet to just inside the 3-point line, 56%. And from 3 to 10 feet, he's at about 45%. He is shooting career highs at every area on the court. I don't understand how you get this good in that short amount of time. Like, I believed that, I never thought Jaylen Brown was going to be as good as he is this year right now. So to take that leap from what he was last year, crazy. I think the mid-range shooting is going to come down to earth. You're not going to keep shooting like 54% from mid-range. That's, if you do, you're like one of the greatest mid-range shooters of all time. So that's not really a big knock. I don't get it. He perplexes me. The 7-point per game increase and just can't miss. He doesn't miss. The Bulls are going to play him today, and I bet you he's going to fucking drop 40. Yeah, Jaylen Brown has been awesome. If I had to pick a most improved player candidate right now, he had 33 in 19 minutes last year. Last game. Why did I say last year? If the season ended right now, Jaylen Brown is most improved player. But I think my 3 biggest candidates have to be Grant, Christian, and Jaylen. If Jaylen maintains this over the full season, he is the most improved player. But if he comes back down to, let's say, 25 points per game on more reasonable splits, I think I would give this award to probably Jeremy Grant, but I could still see it in Jalen Brown's favor. Colin Sexton shot 46% from 3 for the entire year, then the same thing. I would give him the award, but I don't think that's going to maintain itself. So if I'm laying out like the order of my candidates, I'm going probably Jaylen Brown and Jeremy Grant tied in terms of who I think has the chance to win it after the season is over. Then Christian Wood at 3, then Colin Sexton at 4, and after that, probably Chris Boucher at 6. So yeah, that's the most improved player race so far. This video, once again, is way too long. I apologize, Rudy. I know I said that earlier, but I have to apologize a second time because I'm also sending you this video on short notice. But yeah, subscribe. Shout out to Rudy for editing this video. I think I made that clear a second ago, but like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.